Since the dawn of America, there has been a long tradition of improv comedy. When historians and men of great intellect speak of the greatest improvisational shows ever performed, every story has had a common thread. Each of these fabled shows has had a musical soundtrack, and the man behind that soundtrack always bore the last name, Melton.
Now, the first Melton we have on record is Samuel Melton. He came over on the Mayflower.
A pilgrim improv group called Plymouth Schlock got up to perform at the very first Thanksgiving, and when they asked for a suggestion, one Indian yelled out, "Leave!" So, the pilgrims did a fancy herald on the many colors of autumn. This was, of course, famously accompanied by Samuel Melton's fiddle playing.
Not only could he play it, he could make the craziest noises with it too.
Well, this caught the ear of a good-humored little Indian girl. Next thing you know, several generations down the line, we come upon Nathaniel Melton.
Nathaniel Melton fell into a life of a fife player. He was there fifing melodies as Thomas Jefferson was improvising ways to start the Declaration of Independence.
Jefferson brought Nathaniel with him to a gathering of like-minded revolutionists who were forming a group. They called themselves the Four Fathers, as in the number 4.
Nathaniel Melton, being an unabashed gun enthusiast, he played the fife so emphatically during a right to keep and bear arms bit that's the reason we have the amendment today.
His grandson, Matthew Melton, fought in the Civil War, or as the improvisers at the time referred to it, the ultimate cage match.
At night around the campfires, the soldiers would get up and do impressions of their superiors, and Matthew Mustache Melton would play, but no one could see his harmonica, so the men just assumed he played his mustache.
Dear Jacinda, this talented young man in camp makes the most incredible noise playing his mustache. Also, I think the men are making fun of me behind my back, Ulysses S. Grant.
Now, the first time we see a Melton sit down to tickle the ivories is Charlie Melton. That was at the turn of the century.
Improv theater owners forced performers to do shows accompanied by a piano player, playing a loop of the same treacly tunes over and over again.
Well, one night Charlie had enough. He got up from his chair in the audience, forcibly shoved the piano player to the floor, and started playing something entirely new.
The theater really came to life after that, and Melton played with all the big names. Willie Spats McShane, Jokin' John Potato Sack, and the Chuckle Time Trio.
Well, he was at the top of the world. But then, Kawamo! The Great Depression.
During the Depression, nobody laughed. Ever. Improvisers were begging for suggestions on the streets.
He had to take up the accordion because the hobos had eaten all of the pianos.
Because of this, Charlie urged his son, Ellis Melton, to be something other than a musician. Thank God he didn't listen. Otherwise, we'd never known the amazing duo of Mickey and Melton.
They were a cultural phenomenon, and
While the show was good, what the people really came to hear was Melton's playing during Mickey's stage banter.
Well, not one to share the spotlight, Mickey abandoned Ellis. He changed his name, bought some sunglasses, and started playing non-improvised claptrap.
there's not much on the books about Ellis Melton after that breakup, other than the bizarre experimental music phase during the 70s.
During this time, Andrew Melton was born.
He kept up the family trade.
I remember growing up, my dad was always humming and making up little tunes like it was annoying, you know? I'm not a fan of most humans, and I don't like any style of music. But hey, make money, money, make money, money, ho!
Andrew Melton currently plays at the iOWest. I never miss a show.
Musical improv would not be what it is today without the talent of Andrew Melton and his ancestors, and I'll fight any man who says otherwise.
Never speak ill of a Melton, because you'll be taking on a history of class acts as old as America itself.
What's the matter? Can't handle this? Get this camera out of my face. Interview over.